everybody, it's Sam Amico, Hoops Wire Live on 330 to go. Happy March Madness. As you can see, I'm representing the Zips, the Fear the Rue sweatshirt. This was actually a gift, and very grateful that I could wear it during the NCAA tournament. It's the first time I've worn it, so don't let me down, Akron. If you're watching this live, they have not played yet, but fingers crossed. I don't know anything about Texas Tech. I don't know anything about college basketball, but I know some things about the NBA, and I know Ryan Tyler is here to join us again to talk.
Sam. I appreciate you having me back on. I'm a little bit shocked I'm allowed back on the program, but happy to be here.
I was a little surprised myself that you were allowed back on, but 330 to go, and my boss at Hoops Wire Live, which is actually me, approved of this. Anyway, Ryan, how you doing? And are you excited? Do you get excited about March Madness? Like, where does it rank in all-time sporting events for you?
Yeah, I definitely do. I love the madness. I think day one of the tournament might be the best sports day on the entire calendar. I think if I had to give, the Mount Rushmore of sporting events, without a doubt, hands down, March Madness is up there. The Masters, the Super Bowl, and then probably the World Series for me. Yeah, maybe a little bit more than the NBA Finals, but it's right there. But March Madness definitely has a spot on the Mount Rushmore for me.
I would make my belief, and I think college basketball has changed so much, Ryan, since even 10, 15 years ago. The tournament to me is it's better than the Super. It's the one thing that lives up to the hype. The Super Bowl sometimes does not live up to the hype. The Masters usually does.
Well, it's like one of the only one sporting events where really anything can happen. I do think with NIL and the transfer limitations, it's certainly kind of taken away some of the opportunity for it to be super special. But still, it's teenagers, right? It's early 20-year-olds, if that, mixed around the world or the country.
Yes.
And that just, I think, is so special. It's really the only time I feel like you can really say when you're playing a Duke, you're playing a Virginia, you're playing a Michigan, Arizona, Florida, these years 1 seeds. Obviously, they're not going to lose to the 16 seed, but like the next round, it's really any given, I guess in college, 40 minutes.
Yes.
Like you really feel like anything can happen. And I think that's what makes it so special.
Yeah. And there's always something. There's always a last-second shot or, a crazy 5-minute run or something. That there's always something in the tournament because there's so many teams that make it special. Now, let's move on to April Madness here, which is upcoming for the Cleveland Cavaliers when the NBA playoffs start. Ryan, what do you like that you've seen from the Cavs? What are you not thrilled about so far coming into this, what really is, I guess, final 4-week stretch?
Well, I guess what I like is the roster, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I was having this thought today, Sam. I think right now the Cavaliers are probably in the best spot in terms of talent they've been post-LeBron. But it's been difficult to give them the benefit of the doubt when we head to the playoffs because of the past history. And I don't want to call them unprepared or soft, but like I go back to, I was at that game a while ago when Jason Tatum came back against the Cavaliers and they ended up winning that game. And, it wasn't like they were turning the ball over at a crazy rate. They just it looked like physically outplayed, physically outmuscled, and the Boston Celtics were just making more shots. And it just worries me when you get to the postseason. I know in that game they didn't have Jared Allen, who's been amazing, quite frankly, since James Harden has come to Cleveland. Yeah. But I worry when we get into the postseason, is James Harden going to be the guy that flips the switch for them? Are they going to be able to get over this proverbial hump in the postseason? I certainly hope so, and I like to be optimistic and think so. But if you were to tell me they can't get past the Celtics, I wouldn't be surprised, Sam. I really wouldn't.
Yeah. I heard opposing NBA scout that I sit near at NBA games. I sit near a few of them, or at the Cavs games, and one of them said the Cavs could lose in the second round, they could get to the finals, and neither would surprise me. He said if they lost the first round, I'd be surprised, but if they lost in the second, depending on who their matchup is, But he said, to your point, Ryan, he said I think they have the talent and the depth and the the roster and the coaching to get to the finals. And that's why they went out and got Harden and made that deal and made the deal for Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder because they want to make a run to the finals. And I'm right there with you. I was at that Boston game too, and I kind of thought, that I felt like they got pushed around a little bit, which has been their downfall in the playoffs. Again, no Jared Allen. But as far as, I guess, my next question leading into that would be, what do you want to see from them closing out the regular season here?
Number one is just health, right? Like not having Jared Allen out there has been massive. And you guys talked about it today on Full Court Cleveland. It's not necessarily the wins, but it's more of what did you look like in those wins? And even the losses. Like, you're going to lose games, but what did you look like in those losses? Defense, I would say, is the one thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you go back to that Mavericks game, then the Magic. You're giving up 120-plus points. Like, that simply can't happen in the postseason, or else you'll be going home sooner than you want to. Yeah. And then just, like you always say, don't want to be Kenny Atkinson having to figure out these rotations with Max Strus coming back. And yes, it's, I guess, a good problem to have when you have pieces that you're not sure how they fit in because they're all very talented. But it's just about playing as a unit. And I love the fact Max Strus came back. It didn't look like he missed a beat. But it's all about just being healthy. And I know it sounds like a cliche, playing the right brand of basketball at the right time, but we've seen it in the NBA all the time. It's not necessarily the most talented team that wins. It's a team that puts it all together and makes the least amount of mistakes. And Cavaliers, in the postseason, it's been the only real people on the Cavaliers that I identify as known playoff risers are Donovan Mitchell and James Harden.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Jared Allen, you don't know. He shrinks in the playoffs more than he grows. Evan Mobley hasn't been that dominant force in the postseason that we've wanted him to become. And the other one, thankfully, is back, Max Strus. I would say outside of Donovan Mitchell, he's been the most consistent playoff performer for this iteration of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You need Jared Allen to get there. You need Evan Mobley to get there, right? Like, and you need to figure out that 3 spot. Who's it going to be? I know it's matchup based, but for Kenny Atkinson to figure out, man.
Yeah. Well, they say it's a good problem to have, but I always follow that with it's still a problem. Yeah. It is a problem. You've got to figure it out because you're going to leave some guys disappointed. And then all of a sudden that disappointed guy, because of an injury or something or foul trouble, all of a sudden is going to be needed. And you've got to make sure everybody stays in the right mindset. I'm not saying this is going to be the case, but if Jalen Tyson, for instance, just using him as an example, were to fall out of the playoff rotation, and then, Max Strus or Keon Ellis or Sam Merrill gets into foul trouble, and then all of a sudden you got to play Jalen Tyson. You've got to make sure that guy is ready and not mad that, I didn't play the first 2 playoff games. So I'm with you there when it comes to defense in particular. The other thing, the one promising thing I will say is they needed to shore up their rebounding, and over the last few weeks they've done that, even though they've gone about 500 over the last month, and I think that's to your point, defensive issues. So, Ryan, I guess the final question is: do you think? And I think I asked you this last time. I just want to see if your opinion has changed. Do you think this team? Let's say they're totally healthy for once. If they are, do you think that this team can get past Boston, can get to the finals, or do you not believe that yet?
Truthfully, I don't. Right? And it's going to be one of those things that I have to see it first to believe it.
Yes.
Like, I can sit here and hypothesize and play out scenarios in my head where the Cavaliers put it together for a 7-game series, but I just haven't seen it, right? Like, they can have all the potential in the world, and I think Kobe Altman did a tremendous job of identifying where they needed to get better at the trade deadline. And really, he did that last year too, right? Like, so that isn't something new. I mean, I'm glad he replicated that, and I just hope that it comes to fruition in the way that we want it to. But, like, if you were to sit me down and say Eastern Conference Finals is the Cavaliers and Celtics, I would, and I had to pick one to advance.
Yeah.
As of today, I'm picking the Boston Celtics.
Same here. Yeah. No, I get it. So we'll hope that over the next few weeks, and listen, I mean, it's been a great, in Cleveland, we're so used to having like LeBron, like it's like finals or bust. And that truly is the way I feel about most seasons. But I think if the Cavs aren't always the number one seed, we just got so used to it with LeBron. Like if you're good, you need to get to the finals. And I think that this year, this team, the pressure is on for them to get to the finals. And right now, I'm with you. If I had to pick one, I would pick the Celtics. I'd pick the Cavs to beat the Knicks.
I would as well.
But I don't right now. I don't feel confident about a matchup with Boston. But things can change, and who even knows if the Celtics will get there? So
and real quick, like that makes you question everything about the Cavs organization from the standpoint of how is Boston again this good? Yes, they have Jaylen Brown. Yes, Jason Tatum's coming back. You got pieces like Peyton Pritchard. It has been absolutely phenomenal, really, ever since he's gotten to Boston. And this year, he's obviously got an increased role. But you just think of the turnover that they had: Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, Holiday. Like they still continue to just be absolutely tremendous. And if they're able to do that again this year and put you out in the playoffs after all of that turnover, where you would have said the Cavaliers got better, and obviously before the season you just said the Celtics got way worse.
Yes.
Well, that's not the case.
Right. I thought Boston was going to be and also ran in the Eastern Conference. I think that everybody outside of the organization thought that. So I think if the Cavs can't, get to the finals or get past Boston this year, then we're going to see some more offseason changes. So right now, though, Cavs have 13 games left, something like that. So we'll see. It's plenty of time before the playoffs. Enjoy March Madness, everybody. Ryan, Tyler, my producer at Full Court Cleveland, and who also does a great job of helping me here at Hoops Wire Live. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll.
I was happy to be here anytime you need me, Sam. You know it.
Well, it's probably going to be every week, so I hope you stick to that. But,
a man of my word.
All right. Everybody, thanks so much for joining, and we will talk to you next time here on Hoops Wire Live at 3:30.